Charles Babbage was an English mathematician and inventor, born in London in 1791. Babbage was an astute student, attending Cambridge University to study mathematics in 1810, becoming a professor there by the early 1820s. His most notable aspect of his life was his conceptual development of a machine which would perform complex mathematical calculations. He dubbed this machine the difference engine and worked towards its creation. However, Babbage eventually began to think outside the box, hoping to create an invention which could perform a series of mathematical calculations instead of just one, like the seemingly primitive difference engine was capable of. He conceptualized a far more technologically advanced invention, named the analytical engine, which could perform arithmetical calculations using punched cards to deliver and store information. Despite this genius invention, the design was never created due to a lack of funding. However, its impact on today's society is undeniable. Babbage died in 1871, never fully developing either of his designs. Yet, he made an undeniable contribution to mathematics, both in his own time and on mathematics today. Babbage was responsible for creating the first program, or a series of mathematical calculations completed by a machine. The analytical engine marks the transition from mechanized arithmetic to general-purpose computation. Babbage ultimately provided a foundation for computing mathematics, in which a series of calculations could perform set tasks on the desired interface. He was instrumental in communicating not only his own ideas of mathematical designs, but European developments in mathematics to the English context. Without Babbage, much of England's technological and mathematical developments would have occurred much, much later. Charles Babbage's work was ultimately left unfinished, due to a lack of funding from the government, and a general lack of appreciation from other mathematicians of his time. Furthermore, despite his logic and theory ultimately being correct to create the engines, the present engineering was not compatible with Babbage's thinking. Despite this, the communication of his design was able to inspire other mathematicians to undertake research into Babbage's ideas and concepts. As time progressed, his way of thinking evolved and began to spread across Europe, as more and more mathematicians began to contemplate his engines and the possibility of using punched cards to transmit and store information to run programs. For example, Ada Lovelace, an English mathematician, translated a paper on the capacity of the analytical engine to perform and retain a series of calculations, or in other words, the first computer program. Babbage's pioneering for a more efficient way to perform mathematics ultimately led to a foundation of growing insight into how to make the mathematics of the time more accurate and, of course, efficient. Much of this discourse occurred after Babbage's death, unfortunately, which proves how forward-thinking his concepts truly were. This discourse is still continuing into this day and age, with computer scientists, mathematicians, and engineers utilizing his work in the construction of new technology. As previously stated, Babbage essentially designed the first computer program. His idea to use punch cards to perform a series of arithmetical calculations without human interaction is the foundation of computing mathematics. The analytical engine is the forerunner of the modern digital computer, as punch cards are still an aspect of 21st century technology. CPUs, memory systems, and data organization present in modern computers utilize Babbage's design from centuries beforehand, thus demonstrating his undeniable contribution to computer science and mathematics alike. Using digits as a means of computing as opposed to an orthodox analog device sparked immense technological advancements, and hence, without Babbage's framework for computation, contemporary computing would ultimately not be as advanced as it is in the current age.